How's it going, guys? We are going over a tier list. I did recently do a jungle tier list. This is going to be a general tier list for basically all of Smite at the highest level. This tier list is going to actually go over DmBrandon's tier list, which is on their website, which is amazing, by the way. Juice.gg is the website address to go there. I will put a link below the video. This tier list is very clean. It's very easy to read and understand, and it's actually really appealing to the eye compared to a lot of the other ones. So I do recommend, if you're making tier lists, whatever, you should go to their website, check it out, use it. It's awesome. Alright, now with that being said, this is DmBrandon's tier list. He's already created it, as you can see. Literally, you can see he placed every god everywhere. This is not mine as of yet. I'm going to go through and fix what I think needs to be moved around a little bit. I am going to explain why. But first off, we're going to jump into the legend, just to explain like what each tier is. So your SS tier are your god tier characters, your completely broken, insane tier characters that basically, if you can get on a team, you're going to win. And like I said, it could be the ability to be placed on any team with any comp and carry alone. That's going to be your insane gods that are just going to take over games no matter what. Your S plus are your top tiers. These are going to be your first pick and first ban gods. Your S tier gods are going to be they're above the point of balance, meaning they are your stronger picks that are usually going to be available after your first picks, first bans in most competitive games. They are the flavors of the month. Basically, your top gods that aren't insanely broken. They're just a little broken. Then you have your A tier gods. These gods shouldn't be changed. They're your very strong gods that are gonna complement your S and S plus tier gods that you pick up. These gods are going to be strong, just in their own way, and don't really need to be changed too much. Your B tier are going to be the type of gods you don't see in competitive too often. They're not available, not good in all situations. They need to be thrown into a team. What does it say? Generally, a bit more difficult to place on a team than an A or S tier god. Meaning you're not going to have many people playing this god. It's going to be more rare, more single team based. Like each team's going to have their own type of god that's like a B tier that they play a decent amount. Your C tier is going to be a weak overall pick, weak overall god. Team composition generally will need to be built around it. There are going to be a decent amount of these. It says unlikely to be found in competitive environments unless the player is considered a master of the god. So this is another, almost like a version of the B tier, but a little bit worse in my eyes. Your D tier, your very low pick rate, competitively non-viable, meaning they suck and they should never be played. Alright, we went over the legend. Now we're going to go over the tier list. We're going to start moving stuff around. We're going to work our way down from S plus, I guess, since SS is empty, S plus, all the way down. And I'll go jump back and forth between the tier list, the tier we're on, and the legend. So, start off with, we're starting with S+. These are top tiers, generally first pick, first ban material. Now, I do agree that these gods are very, very strong, all of them. But Khepri, in my eyes, is going to be the one, it's like the third tier support. It's Geb, Athena, Khepri. So, Khepri is not going to be your ban material for me. He's going to be moved down to S, in my eyes. He is very strong. She, I'm not really sure what Khepri is. But, very, very strong. Definitely potential for first pick, first ban, like the potential, but that's only going to be in a situation where all the other guardians are gone and you're not, somehow all the guardians, both Geb, Athena are gone, and also Surkhet and Vulcan, like, and then it's just not likely at all. So Surkhet is definitely going to be S+, 100%. She's OP with Blink. It's not necessarily just her kit. Her kit is very strong. But with Blink added into it, unstoppable. Sun Wukong, also S+, going to be first pick, first ban material. Bluestone Pendant. Push Sun Wukong up over that top to be one of those top tier gods. I am, for the fun of this, going to go ahead and throw Xing 10 in here. Xing 10 for me is going to be an S+ as of right now. This is just from a casual, from what, like, I played the god a lot, but I'm saying I played it in casuals. I'm like, not like I'm scrimming with this god, but Xing 10 is crazy good. Anyone who thinks otherwise is not building correctly or not playing correctly or doing something really wrong, because this god is insanely good. So just wanted to throw that in there. S tier. So your S tier gods are going to be slightly above the point of balance. The pool of gods should compromise the team compositions for most competitive games. So these are the gods you're going to see in almost every competitive game and are very, very strong. I don't agree with Aphrodite to start off with. I don't think we're going to see Aphrodite in every game. I think the nerf to weakening makes Aphro look more appealing, but there are still gods like Odin. There are still gods that are going to pick up other anti-healing like Divine Ruin and Brawler's Beatstick to match up with that weakening curse. And you're going to see teams picking up 2 weakening curses. You're going to see maybe less blinks because we were seeing like 4 blinks per team. And you're going to see one of those blinks go away and turn into a second weakening curse. Things like that will happen and change and have happened. And that's why Aphrodite is going to fall down to A+ for me. You have Bellona, S tier, definitely going to be your top picks, top bans. You're going to see it almost every game. That's 100% for sure. Fenrir, I disagree. I don't think we will see Fenrir, and it's not going to be the type of god you see in every game. For me, Fenrir is the god that counter picks and counter matches up well against a lot of the gods in the meta. Well, maybe not even a lot, but some of them. And that's probably a little bit less than a lot, probably around some. You're going to see Fenrir do well in the solo lane against certain gods. You're going to see Fenrir really only do well in the jungle, in my opinion, against Ratatasker. You can match up decently against some of the other gods, but not great. It's going to be a little bit less than even matchup, not in your favor. If you do see mages like Tebow, then Fenrir will be more seen a little bit more. But in my eyes, Fenrir falls down to an A+. Great pick, but not going to be he's not really above the point of balance. He's not that crazy strong. Next is Geb. Geb for me is moving up to S+. Geb for me is 110% going to be picked and banned in every single competitive game. If he's not, the other team is smoking something or doing something crazy for some weird reason. But Geb is definitely going to be picked and banned in every game. 100%. He's broken. His shield is game-changing. His blink ult is game-changing. His knockup can be game-changing. The god is the epitome of the perfect support god. Next on the list is Janice. I think Janice in S tier is very good. You're going to see Janice in a lot of your competitive games, just about all of them. The ult used correctly is one of the best ults in the game. Players like Stealth, MLC Stealth, just do wonders with a god like Janice. I already moved Khepri down. We're on to Rama. Rama's very strong. You will probably see a lot of Ramas in most of your competitive games. I'm not so sure you're going to see him in all of your competitive games, and that's why I want to move this god down to A+ tier. I do think Rama is a very strong. I don't think he's above the point of balance. I think your players that play him at the highest level, like perfectly all the time, like Reels and Snoopy did, then them on that god is a very strong combination, but not just in general. You're not going to see Rama in every single game. Next is on to Sylvanas. I do think Sylvanas is very strong, but it's another situation, where I don't think we're going to see Sylvanas in every single game. I think Sylvanas is down there in the 5th seed spot for supports, maybe 4th, 5th. So it's not going to be top pick. He's kind of on the border for S and A+ for me. It could be argued either way, but just because of what I've seen lately, I'm going to go ahead and throw him in A+. It's just how it's going to be. Aokwang, still OP. Still an insanely good god. The little nerfs he got suck. Surkhet is definitely, in my eyes, stronger than Aokwang, but Ao is going to be one of those picks that it's going to be picked or banned in every game, and if it's not, I'm going to be shocked. Next is going to move down to Athena. So, Athena, for me, like I said, is the second best support in the game. You will see Athena in every single game in some role. When I say support, I mean a team type support god. Throw Athena in the solo, and the rotations, the control, and the damage is very strong. Throw her in the jungle, it's the same situation. So for me, Athena moves up to S+. I expect to see Athena in every competitive game, period. Chang'e for me, A+ is strong. I'm going to go ahead and jump back to the legend real quick. So your A is the focal point of balance, meaning these gods should see no changes given their current abilities in competitive high-level play. New players should flock to this pool as their time invested will likely not be wasted due to nerfs. I don't think Chang'e is that good. I think Chang'e is great, but I do not think Chang'e is I just don't think I don't think every new player should be flocking to this guy, at least not on an A+ level, not guaranteed. Chang'e for me is going to fall down to A. I don't see Chang'e too often in competitive, but I do understand that with the weakening nerf and with the changes to items and things, there is a place for Chang'e, and Chang'e is something you might want to pick up. I already moved Fenrir down. Freyja for me is going to move up to S tier. She is pretty much the only mage magic damage that can be run in the ADC role, which is amazing and can be game changing. You will see Freyja in every game. If Freyja is not picked or banned, I will be shocked. You will see Freyja in every competitive game. She's not quite to that point where you want to ban her, because she can be handled if you know how to play against it properly, or maybe the person playing Freyja isn't the best Freyja. So that's just my thought. Guan Yu. Guan Yu is very good. I don't think new players need to be flocking to Guan Yu at the highest level. I'm not 100% sold on Guan Yu. Guan Yu is going to move down to A+ for me. He is a very, very solid god. This is also, people are going to be overestimating weakening nerf. I think the healing is very good, but like I said, you're going to see 2 weakening curses on teams. You're going to see anti-healing on teams. It's going to happen when you pick healers. And if you pick a heavy healer team comp, you're going to get punished. So I don't recommend putting a whole bunch of time into learning how to play Guan Yu. Isis for me, definitely still A+. You won't see her in every competitive game, but you should definitely know how to play this god. In certain matchups, it's going to work out very well in your favor. Nuwa, same situation. She's not broken. You will not see her in every game. Should know how to play her. If you can play her at a very, very high level, it is likely you will see Nuwa in a lot of competitive games because of the players playing her to that maximum level. But there is a skill gap between the low players playing Nuwa and the players who play her perfectly. We've already touched on Rama. We already touched on Sylvanas. Move over to Agni. Agni is a great mid, one of the best mids. It's not always 100%. You will see an Agni in every competitive game. Should definitely know how to play Agni. On her is probably the same situation. He's a pretty good ADC. You should definitely know how to play him, but he's not going to be in every game. Apollo is very strong. I think Apollo is a little undervalued, but I really think Apollo should probably be A+. I think his push and his global presence is undervalued right now. In competitive, we're seeing a little bit more Apollo coming out, and with people banning gods like Freyja, it's really limiting the ADC pool. The ADCs are really sticking to those carries, and Apollo is very good at that. So I think Apollo is going to be up there on those gods you should definitely learn. Well, I think Apollo is up there, sorry. Ares, very strong, not one of your top supports though. Definitely learn how to play Ares. You'll see him a little bit in competitive on certain teams. Oelish, super strong god, not that great at team fighting. You will see her occasionally. You should know how to play her 100% for counter matchups. She does well against gods like Fenrir, Odin, Surkhet, things with leaps, Neath. She completely counters. She does well against a lot of the leap gods. So it is one of those gods you want to learn how to play. I'm actually going to move her up to A+. With people looking at a lot of the more leap gods, you are seeing them very often, and you're seeing bans on certain gods that can protect them, like say Geb. So I think Oelish is one of those gods you need to prioritize a little bit more. Like I said, she has a weaker team fight, but if you can transition in that team fight and learn your positioning well, that early game makes up for the little bit weaker late game. Next is Bastet. I don't think Bastet is very good. I'm going to go ahead and jump to the legend again, just to refresh myself and you guys. So we're looking at B. B is still somewhat strong, but not competitively viable in all situations. They are generally a bit more difficult to place on a team than A or S tier. So Bastet for me falls down to B+. She is not that good. She's very, very hard to place on a competitive team and win with it. Her kit is not the best team fight kit. Her cats get destroyed very quickly. She scales in the mid game the best, it seems, and falls off late game, and early game she can be evaded and taken over very easily. So Bastet is pretty average for me. I'm throwing her to B tier. Not gonna be easy to place her on a team. We already did Chang'e. Chronos, he's pretty good. I don't know about how much time I would put into a Chronos. I'm gonna throw Chronos down into B+. It's really hard to put Chronos on a team and do well in a competitive setting. We already moved Guan. Hades, I'm gonna move Hades up. I think Hades needs to be prioritized a lot higher. Hades can be played in the mid and the solo lane. Mid lane clear is crazy, the control is crazy. As long as you match it up with a proper team comp, the initiation you get from Hades and the counter initiation you get from Hades is top tier and one of the best in the game. Prioritize learning how to play Hades. You'll see Hades a lot in competitive games you already have. Hell, with the weakening nerfs, I've been saying like you're gonna see people buying this stuff, but Hell is a little bit stronger still in that sense because it does take time to get that anti-healing you need. Hell comes on pretty quickly if you're able to free farm for a little while. So I'd say Hell is something you need to prioritize. She does counter match up against certain gods fairly well in the solo lane. I'm talking about in the mid lane. She's gonna get camped very hard. It's gonna be difficult to deal with her, or it's gonna be difficult to deal with if you're the Hell. You're not gonna do very well. Hercules, super strong god. Definitely learn how to play him. Really, just mainly a solo lane god. We'll move on. Hunbat's super strong. He doesn't have many counter matchups other than like a Wheelix. He doesn't counter many gods. He's just very good at team fighting. You should definitely know how to play Hunbat's. I'm gonna move Hunbat's up to A+. I think he's one of the top 5, top 4 gods for jungling. So if you are going to prioritize learning how to play a god and you need to know how to play a god and gods you will see in competitive, Hunbat's is one of the top ones. Kali, she's good. She's not great. She excels a little bit with the blink initiation, but her build takes a long time to get her online. A lot of people are doing this rage build I've talked about. It's not very good in my opinion. I don't like it. I think it delays your damage insanely, and you should be building differently. Anyways, learn how to play Kali, but don't prioritize her. She's not in the top 5 junglers. Medusa's pretty good. Her lane clear is great. Team fight is okay. Late game is decent. Medusa's one of those gods I'd put A tier. Learn how to play, and you'll be alright. Neith, super strong. I think she's undervalued. I personally, this might just be me and me from watching competitive. I think she should be A+. I think in the hunter role, your gods are limited right now. There aren't many top tier hunters. I do think Neith is above that top tier. She's not going to be in the late game though. Her playstyle is going to help the team in the early game and still continue to control and help the team in the mid to late. She does do a lot of damage. If she gets ahead, she definitely can carry, but she's team comp oriented. With that being said, a lot of the team comps that are being played right now, she fits perfectly into, so you should definitely know how to play Neith. Osiris is good. He's not picked every game. Learn how to play him. He's not the #1 pick for like a solo lane. Definitely not in the jungle. Ra is very good. He has his place. The nerf to weakening helps him a teeny bit, but also late game it's gonna be the same late game. You're gonna not be able to heal too much. Ra's good if you can land ults. Definitely know how to play him in the mid lane. He's not going to be played every game in the mid lane, but you'll see him now and then. I think Ratatasker is not good. I do not like Ratatasker. Put him in the solo lane, and he's okay. Put him in the jungle, and you're going Emerald Talisman. If you're going Opal, you're not going to be doing anything unless the other team doesn't know how to play against Ratatasker. Ratatasker falls down to B+ for me. I don't think you should be learning how to play Ratatasker. I don't think he fits into many team comps. He doesn't have much control. His damage output is limited. He does have a lot of bait potential, but that's not something it's very hard to place that into a team comp. Cilla for me falls down to B+. Early clear can dictate a lot of the game from early to mid. It can extremely dictate it. It can control whether you're getting mid camps or not. It's very hard to put Cilla into a team comp right now. A lot of people are picking up beads. A lot of people are building tanky. Cilla does do a decent amount of damage once she hits that point, but with these things being rank 3 beads at like 4 minutes, Cilla's very rarely going to get the setup she needs to land an ult. There aren't many people who play Cilla at the highest level at all. It is hard to place her on a team. Next is Sobek. Sobek's good. Like I said, a lot of the supports are being banned, so I would say A tier. You definitely need to know how to play Sobek. You will see a little bit of Sobek in competitive, a decent amount of Sobek, just because the pools are limited after you get through all the bans, and also there's matchups and everything else. Thor for me, you know I hate Thor. I do not like Thor at all. However, he is still very, very strong. You see people like adapting and Andancer just able to fully control a match. Mainly that's because they excel early very well at the god and can transition it into mid to late. But the god is better. I have to move him up. You have to know how to play Thor. If you are playing in the jungle, if you're a jungler, you need to know how to play Thor. He's a top 5, top 6 god. And you will see him in most of the competitive games. NA and EU. Next is Tyr. Tyr is very good, has his good place. Solo laner, strictly. I would leave him at A. I gotta tell you guys, I don't know the most about every single role, but I do know what is played. Tyr does get played a decent amount. Learn how to play it. You'll have fun in solo lane. Ul, I think, is hard to place on a lot of the teams, but with the limited amount of hunters, you definitely need to be playing Ul a little bit. Next is Shiva Lanka. Shiva Lanka skyrockets for me. Shiva Lanka is one of the hardest carrying ADCs, has a global ult which can help you get in and out of fights. He comes online, and once he's like, he can come online early if you get the stacks on the ult passive, but he is going to come online no matter what in a competitive game. You're going, most, like 99% of the teams, at least at the highest level, are going to be able to farm up a Shiva Lanka, and that Shiva Lanka will control a game. The ult allows you to basically do whatever you want in the team fights when you're online, and he is the hunter, the physical damage hunter you need to know how to play, in my opinion. Finally, from A tier is Amir. Amir is very good. You'll see him in jungle, solo sometimes, support a lot of the times. You need to know how to play this god. Very, very good god. We'll see him a decent amount in competitive. We'll move down to B+. I'm just going to go over B+ again, or B. These are the somewhat, but not competitively viable in all situations. So, I think, like I said, most of these gods are going to be competitive in all situations. You're going to be able to throw them into it. Very rare would something, I don't know, a Hell and a Ra aren't going to be viable against an Odin. But that's one of those very rare situations that doesn't dictate it for me for moving them out of A. I think Apuch is still one of the best mids in the game. I think you need to know how to play Apuch. I don't think other gods, and I don't think, like I said, it says not competitively viable in all situations. I don't think there's going to be situations where Apuch is not viable. I really think a well-played Apuch is one of the best mids in the game still. A lot of people can't play him at that level, but that's just how it is. I've gone over Chronos already, where Hu Yi. I think Hu Yi is not always competitive viable. I don't like him as a hunter. I don't think he's good at all. I think he should be just remain out of competitive. Loki, same situation. In the jungle can get invaded. In the solo lane can just be taken control of by certain gods. And you're looking for team presence from almost all of your solo laners. And Loki has the exact opposite. Maybe if the other team doesn't build correctly, Loki can one-shot somebody. But he's usually going to be used to split push and do outside of team type stuff. So Loki's not a great pick. Nemesis, definitely not viable in all situations. She's not a top jungler. She has a rough time against a lot of the matchups that are very popular right now, so I don't recommend you knowing how to play her. Odin for me. Odin, right now, is going to be a must-play, must-learn, and very, very common in competitive play. I think, all things aside, even if there's no healing on the other team, Odin is super strong. Odin can lock in a Geb. Odin can take control of a Sun Wukong. Odin can take control of a Freyja, force Freyja's ult. Odin can take control of a Khepri. Odin can definitely counter up a Shiva Lanka. With that being said, his damage output is good. His control is amazing with his ult. His initiation presence is awesome. I think you're going to see a lot of Odin. You already see a decent amount of Odin. I think we haven't really progressed into this weakening nerf yet, and because of that, that's why you haven't yet to see the Odin. But now that people are adjusting and a lot of healers are being picked up, Odin is going to be one of your top picks in a sense that you must know how to play this god. You must be able to pick him in a 1 through 4 slot on a team, and you will see him in a lot of the team comps. Jump back into A real quick. Focal point of balance. These gods should see no changes. I don't think Odin should see any changes. I think Odin is great right now. So, that's my thought. Next is Poseidon. Poseidon is going to move up to A for me. Oh wow, it doesn't really move down. That's weird. So Poseidon moves up to A for me. He can be thrown in almost any team comp. His clear is amazing in the middle lane. The whole other team can get beads and Aegis and you're not going to do any damage with your ult. That's when the Poseidon just needs to use the ult differently. Your team comp isn't that important with the Poseidon. You can do fairly well as long as you know how to whirlpool ult, especially early. Push Poseidon's early game as hard as possible. Once you transition to mid to late, if you're even or behind, just make sure you crack in correctly, use your abilities properly, and you'll be good to go. I don't think Poseidon is ever not viable. I don't think there's very many situations at all where you're not just going to pick a Poseidon and be okay. For the rest of these gods, they all should remain in B+ for me. I don't really know, that's not moving. That's weird. So Vulcan, not very good, not going to be viable in many situations. Thanatos, in my opinion, is only viable against Thor. And Cilla, we've already gone over. Down to B tier, Amuzan-Kab, Anubis, Arachne, Bacchus, Baka, Kabrakin, Cupid, Hebo, all of these, every single one of these right here, you're very rarely going to see in competitive. It's very hard to pick them. They're not really that viable at all. I could break each one down, but they all have their weaknesses, like no movement, no real movement, still no real movement, Bad laning phase, great team fighting, but not the best for initiating for teams, because if the team knows how to spread out, we won't do much with Bacchus. Bacca has just fallen off greatly. Khepri was never good. He's always been super early game and relied 100% on the first 4 minutes of a game. Cupid, very average. Hebo, no mobility, very squishy. Kukulkan, very almost near impossible to land your ult all the time. Kumbhakarna, I think we might see a rise, but I'm not really sure, so I'm not willing to change him. Mercury, not high mobility, very squishy, not that great with the current builds that are available. Jaja, same situation, low mobility. Yeah, great ult, great early game, bad mid, bad late. Nox, she doesn't really have a place, hard to confirm her damage. Zeus, no mobility, hard to confirm his damage all the time. Zhonghui, no mobility, very easy to kill for most of the gods in the meta. Artemis, yeah, she's not very good. She has very low mobility, but I could easily move her up to B tier. She's not that great. She's not going to be viable very often, but there are going to be a couple situations where you're like, hey, I should pick an Artemis, and you're going to control the game. You've seen it in EU where they pick Artemis. Chalk, I think, is horrible. I think completely belongs to C. I'm going to go back into C. Weak overall team composition generally will need to be built around the character. Basically meaning Chalk does nothing for the team. Team needs to carry Chalk other than through the first laning phase, basically. Chalk sucks. Vamana also sucks. Ravana for me in D tier is completely not even close. I think Ravana definitely has a place in competitive. I think it's going to be hard to place him. I don't think you will see him very often. I think it can be kind of difficult to put him on a team, but I'm going to move Ravana up to B+ tier. Learn how to play Ravana, so when those situations arise, you can do it. I think a Ravana, with his ult used properly in a team fight, can be beyond annoying and can pull a lot of the pressure off of your team and put it onto their team. I do not think he's anywhere near a C tier. I think he's a lot better than all of these guys in B tier. And yeah, that's my thoughts on the tier list. I 100% realize it's not going to be completely accurate to all of y'all's opinions. These are my opinions from competitive play, from scrims, from watching competitive play, from playing like Xing 10 in the casuals. Some of this is based on previous knowledge. Some of this is based on what I think is going to change in the next week. But most of it is based on right now, what I've seen over the past, up to this week in competitive, what I've seen in scrims. It's based on the now. These are my professional thoughts, not casual thoughts, not completely opinion based, because like I said, I hate Thor, but I throw Thor in A+. It's not my opinions on the god, it's my opinions on where the meta is going to go. It's my thoughts and how I see the current meta. I want you guys to realize I do picks and bans very often for my team. We all do input, but I generally can tell you what another team is going to pick in the first three spots. Cyclone also does this with me. We're mainly the main two for picks and bans based on what the other team might play. But that's beside the point. My point is I do know a lot. I'm not making this stuff up. So I hope this helps you guys understand what goes through my head, competitive players' heads, and just how you should be looking at gods, what you should be playing, what you should be expecting to play. If you guys are jumping in Challenger League or even just screaming your friends for fun or whatever, these gods in this order are going to be your main focus. So I hope this helps. Like I said, check out DM's website, juice.gg. It's very good. Let me double check. Yeah, juice.gg. There are tier lists on the website. They have a bunch of other stuff on the website. It's a very good website. Check it out, and I will see you guys in the next video.